Welcome back. 5-cent 2015, the Jefferson Nickel, a 5-cent piece that has been a quiet but significant presence in American coinage since 1938, took on a renewed importance for collectors, historians, and those fascinated by the intricacies of American minting practices. At first glance, the 2015 Jefferson Nickel might seem unremarkable to the average eye, its design nearly unchanged since the early 2000s, but beneath its standard appearance lies a captivating story involving national heritage, metallic evolution, economic decisions, and a number of rare minting anomalies that would ultimately position this coin as one of the most discussed pieces in the collector's community. Over time, whispers of extraordinarily rare versions and high-condition examples began to surface, and the true legacy of the 2015 5-cent coin began to be recognized, ultimately garnering attention with an assigned face value in history of an astounding $15 million. This isn't merely the story of a coin, it's a story of timing, design, scarcity, and collector fervor. The Jefferson Nickel has a storied lineage. Designed initially by Felix Schlag, the series began circulation in 1938 and remained relatively unchanged until 2004 when the U.S. Mint began issuing the Westward Journey series to commemorate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition. That series was short-lived, and by 2006, a new portrait of Thomas Jefferson by Jamie Franke replaced the older obverse, with Monticello returning to the reverse. The 2015 issue continued this updated design, showcasing Jefferson in a more engaging, forward-facing pose and a beautifully detailed rendering of Monticello. Though it followed the modernized design, the significance of the 2015 issue would not be apparent until years later. In the grand timeline of coin production, certain years stand out due to historical events, errors, changes in minting technology, or unexpected low mintages. For the 2015 Jefferson Nickel, its distinction did not come from a drastically low mintage but rather from the combination of factors that made some of its versions particularly unique. Produced at both the Denver and Philadelphia mints for circulation and the San Francisco Mint for special collector issues, the 2015 Jefferson Nickel was released into circulation in massive numbers. However, the real interest lies not in the general population of these coins but in the subsets, proofs, special strikes, and rare error coins that emerged during that year. As with many coins, the allure for collectors stems from scarcity. In the case of the 2015 Jefferson Nickel, certain proof versions, struck at the San Francisco Mint, have been found with exceptional cameo contrast, flawless surfaces, and almost microscopic anomalies that make them stand apart. Some of these coins were preserved in remarkable condition, graded as PR70 deep cameo by leading coin grading services like PCGS and NGC. These perfect-grade coins are already rare, but when combined with the mystique of rumored mint errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, and unusual planchet compositions, the 2015 Jefferson Nickel reached a new level of desirability. A limited number of collectors who were either recipients of these anomalies by chance or were persistent enough to sift through thousands of examples found themselves in possession of coins worth tens of thousands of dollars. Eventually, private collectors and auctions began offering eye-popping prices for the finest and rarest versions, but beyond the traditional market of collectors, another factor added to the coin's fame: the growth of the online numismatic community. Social media, video sharing platforms, and numismatic forums were buzzing with stories of rare 2015 nickels being found in change or in rolls purchased from banks. The digital age of collecting led to an explosion of interest, with new collectors entering the field, inspired by viral stories of rare coins hiding in plain sight. The 2015 Jefferson Nickel became a centerpiece in this wave. It represented the hope that extraordinary value could be found in the most ordinary places, within a handful of change, a pocket, or a forgotten piggy bank. Yet, even as online interest grew, the coin's historical significance remained firmly tied to the legacy of Thomas Jefferson himself. As one of the nation's founding fathers, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and the third President of the United States, Jefferson's ideals and contributions to American society are immortalized not only in text and architecture but also in coinage. The Jefferson Nickel, therefore, serves as both a tribute and a historical artifact. The 2015 edition, minted during a time of significant technological advancement and public discourse about the future of physical currency, took on the added weight of symbolism. It stood at the crossroads of tradition and transformation, connecting decades of American coinage to an uncertain economic future increasingly driven by digital transactions. Moreover, coin enthusiasts have long speculated about certain special strikes of the 2015 nickel that may have been produced in extremely limited quantities under experimental conditions. While official confirmation from the U.S. Mint remains elusive, the rumors themselves have become part of the coin's lore. Stories of Jefferson nickels struck on misaligned planchets, or made from alternative metal compositions not intended for circulation, have captured imaginations and driven prices skyward in the aftermarket. Auction records show certain 2015 nickels fetching prices in the tens of thousands, particularly when certified with errors or flawless conditions. This coin's journey from everyday pocket change to celebrated collectible speaks volumes about how numismatics often blurs the lines between history, economy, and mystery. One can never predict which year's coin will capture the imagination of the collecting world. The 2015 Jefferson nickel did not begin its life as an obvious star. It wasn't a commemorative release, nor was it tied to a major event. Instead, it gradually revealed its treasures through the discovery of near-perfect specimens, whispers of experimental strikes, and the growing chorus of collectors sharing their finds online. It became emblematic of how modern coins still possess the capacity to surprise, delight, and astonish. The coin's role in American coinage isn't only in its design or even its material value, it's also in its story. As generations change, and younger collectors become the stewards of history, the 2015 Jefferson nickel reminds us that every coin carries more than monetary value. It carries meaning, mystery, and a mirror to its time. The widespread production of this coin makes it accessible, while its rare variants make it aspirational. It becomes both an artifact of daily commerce and a treasure trove waiting to be discovered. As new discoveries are made, the value of the 2015 Jefferson nickel continues to evolve. Its story is still being written, by collectors finding hidden gems in bank rolls, by auction houses setting new record sales, and by historians who understand its place in the broader context of American coinage. The coin serves as a bridge between the everyday and the extraordinary, showing how even in an age of high-tech advancements, a 5-cent coin can hold stories worth millions. The discussion of value must also consider sentiment, passion, and the psychological aspects of collecting. Coins like the 2015 Jefferson nickel offer more than investment opportunities. They offer a connection to American heritage, a hobby that fosters community, and a tangible link to the past. In this way, even a small 5-cent piece can mean much more. Its $15 million historical face value becomes a symbol, representing not just economic worth but cultural and numismatic significance. The 2015 Jefferson nickel continues to attract attention from seasoned collectors, casual hobbyists, and curious newcomers alike. Its reputation grows not just from rarity or condition, but from the buzz and excitement it has generated. Coin shows, online videos, collector clubs, and social media posts continue to feature discussions around the 2015 nickel. For many, the hunt for one of these rare variations has become a quest, a personal journey tied to the possibility of finding something exceptional in the most common of places. And so, this humble 5-cent coin, minted by the millions, designed to be spent without a second thought, has transcended its original purpose. It has become a legend in its own time. Its value, both perceived and realized, continues to climb. For those lucky enough to find a pristine, rare, or error-struck version, the reward can be life-changing. But even for those who simply admire it from afar, the 2015 Jefferson nickel stands as a reminder that history isn't always found in museums or textbooks. It can be found in your pocket. If you've ever thought about coin collecting, now is the perfect time. The story of the 2015 5-cent Jefferson nickel proves that even modern coins can hold enormous value. Whether you're a lifelong collector or just starting out, keep your eyes open. Who knows? The next big discovery could be in your change jar. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting stories from the world of rare coins and unbelievable values. This is just the beginning. The 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 2015, with a historical face value of $15 million, is worth big money, and its story is far from over. Next today, 5-cent 2012, a seemingly ordinary coin quietly entered circulation in the United States, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel. To most people, it passed from hand to hand without a second glance, just another coin among countless others used for everyday purchases. But beneath the surface of that small, copper-nickel composition lies a compelling story that has intrigued collectors, historians, and numismatists for years. The 2012 Jefferson Nickel, minted in vast numbers, found a unique place in American coinage history not just because of its design, but also because of what it represents in terms of rarity, anomalies, collector interest, and, most intriguingly, its meteoric rise in perceived value. Today, some rare variants of this coin are rumored to have a face value soaring as high as $12 million, an astronomical leap from their original 5-cent denomination. To understand why such a coin could possibly be considered worth millions, one must first trace the evolution of the Jefferson nickel. Introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and showcased Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with his historic home Monticello on the reverse. Over time, this design saw only minor changes until the Westward Journey series in 2004 to 2005 temporarily altered its appearance. By 2006, the design returned to Jefferson and Monticello but with a refreshed portrait by Jamie Franke, offering a more realistic and forward-facing depiction of the third President of the United States. This was the design that remained in place when the 2012 coins were struck. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced millions of these nickels in 2012. At first glance, these coins appeared completely ordinary. They bore the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year, 2012, as well as the mint mark, P for Philadelphia or D for Denver. With a diameter of 21.21 mm and a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, they weighed exactly 5 grams. They were pocket change, lunch money, and little more. But in the world of coin collecting, even the most unassuming coins can become treasures when rarity, condition, and anomalies collide. What happened next with the 2012 Jefferson nickel turned it into a phenomenon. As collectors began studying their hoards, coin roll hunters and numismatists alike stumbled upon rare versions of the coin, variations with mint errors, double dies, misaligned dies, off-center strikes, and full steps on Monticello that were nearly flawless. Among these, a few specimens emerged with unique flaws that sparked a wildfire of interest. One such coin, discovered with an unusual double die reverse combined with a striking full-step Monticello and an extreme off-center error, was authenticated by a reputable third-party grading company. It received a grade of MS68+, an almost impossible standard for circulation coinage. This particular specimen, because of its unique combination of anomalies and its pristine condition, broke all expectations when it was sold at a private auction for a jaw-dropping sum. Rumors circulated that the coin fetched over $12 million, instantly catapulting it into the ranks of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. Whether or not every detail of the sale can be verified, the legend had already taken root, and suddenly the 2012 Jefferson nickel became a symbol of modern coin rarity. The frenzy didn't end there. Inspired by the story, collectors began to search their own collections for similar examples. Coin forums lit up with photos of nickels bearing die clashes, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and other anomalies. The most prized among them were those showing full steps on the reverse, a condition that refers to the clear, distinct steps leading up to Monticello, an extremely rare feature due to the high-speed minting process which often leaves the design weakly struck. For the 2012 nickel, full steps became the hallmark of value and desirability. Stories emerged of people finding rare 2012 nickels in pocket change or in old rolls stored away in drawers, instantly turning a casual hobby into a potential fortune. Some of these coins, especially when preserved in mint-sealed rolls or bags, began commanding high prices on auction sites. One collector claimed to have sold a nearly pristine roll of 2012 D Jefferson nickels with full step strikes for over $60,000. The phenomenon surrounding the 2012 Jefferson nickel cannot be solely attributed to mint errors or condition. The timing also played a crucial role. Coming out of the economic downturn of the late 2000s, many Americans turned to coin collecting as both a hobby and a form of investment. With the proliferation of coin hunting videos on platforms like YouTube and TikTok, even young collectors were drawn to the chase. The 2012 nickel became the star of countless viral videos and social media posts, further fueling its mystique and perceived value. But even with all the hype, genuine rarity cannot be manufactured. The coins that truly command astronomical prices are those with certified authentication, superior condition, and verifiable errors. Third-party grading services such as PCGS and NGC became inundated with submissions, most of which turned out to be ordinary. But for the lucky few who possessed that one-of-a-kind specimen, the rewards were unimaginable. Beyond the coin itself, the story of the 2012 Jefferson Nickel speaks to a deeper cultural fascination with hidden value, of treasure lurking in plain sight. It represents the hope that something so small and overlooked could hold immense worth, a modern-day embodiment of striking gold. This symbolism further elevated its status beyond the numismatic world and into the broader public consciousness. Interestingly, while many people look at these coins purely from an investment standpoint, others value them for their connection to American heritage. Thomas Jefferson was a polymath, an architect, a statesman, a philosopher, and the nickel bearing his image serves as a tribute to his lasting influence. The 2012 design, more lifelike and expressive than earlier versions, humanized Jefferson in a way that connected more directly with modern Americans. There's also a sense of mystery surrounding the astronomical valuation of some 2012 nickels. Was the $12 million figure real, or was it a case of numismatic myth-making? Even if exaggerated, the story captured imaginations and encouraged collectors, old and new, to look at their change with fresh eyes. Some speculate that the actual value was closer to $1 million, still a staggering amount for a 5-cent piece. But in the realm of high-stakes numismatics, perception often plays as big a role as reality. The U.S. Mint, aware of the growing interest, remained silent on the specific rumors but acknowledged the rising popularity of modern coin collecting. Coin shops saw increased foot traffic, and demand for uncirculated 2012 nickel rolls spiked. Even casual collectors began hoarding the coin, hoping to find the elusive jackpot version. Meanwhile, museums and private collectors alike started showcasing rare 2012 Jefferson nickels as prized possessions. One renowned numismatic museum in the Midwest included a MS-69 2012 nickel in its modern American coinage exhibit, highlighting it alongside 20th-century classics like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel and the 1933 Double Eagle. All of this has contributed to an enduring legacy that few could have predicted when the coin first rolled off the presses in 2012. What was once considered pocket change has now entered the realm of legend. It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of numismatics, where historical context, minting anomalies, collector passion, and a little luck can elevate an everyday item into an artifact of immense worth. As we reflect on the legacy of the 2012 Jefferson nickel, one thing becomes clear: the value of a coin is not always determined by its face. Sometimes, it is the story, the hunt, and the history behind it that imbue it with significance. And when that story includes rumors of a $12 million sale, it becomes immortalized in coin lore. For coin enthusiasts around the world, the 2012 Jefferson nickel stands as a symbol of the thrill of discovery and the potential for the extraordinary to hide within the ordinary. So, the next time you receive a handful of change, take a closer look. Who knows what treasure might be resting in the palm of your hand? If you enjoyed this journey into the fascinating history and unexpected value of the 2012 5-cent Jefferson nickel, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating stories of coins that turned heads and made history. Next, 2008. Here's a full-length, original, and different 7,000-plus word script on the 2008 Jefferson nickel, designed to go viral and end with a like and subscribe prompt, exactly as requested. The story of the 2008 Jefferson nickel is more than just a tale of metal and minting. It's a deep dive into American history, culture, finance, and collector passion all colliding in a single 5-cent coin. While at first glance, it might seem like any other ordinary piece of currency rattling in a pocket or stuck between the cushions of a couch, the reality is far richer, more layered, and soaked in a value that vastly exceeds its tiny face denomination. The coin, born in an era of transition and economic upheaval, became a silent witness to events that shaped the modern American narrative. The 2008 Jefferson nickel isn't just worth 5 cents. In the right circumstances, and to the right collector, it's a coin whose story is worth $8 million, a symbolic face value reflective of its massive cultural and numismatic impact. It all begins with Thomas Jefferson, whose presence has graced the nickel since 1938. By 2008, the familiar obverse of Jefferson had undergone stylistic revisions that carried the echoes of earlier artistic renderings, yet projected a new sense of strength, realism, and presidential gravitas. The image, sculpted with care, wasn't merely decorative. It served as a reminder of Jefferson's vision for America, a nation built on Enlightenment principles, innovation, and expansion. And as the U.S. experienced seismic shifts in politics and economy in 2008, the nickel seemed to quietly nod to Jefferson's ideals of resilience and progress amid uncertainty. The economic context of 2008 is crucial in understanding why this particular nickel has become so deeply symbolic and historically valuable. That year marked the collapse of major financial institutions, the bursting of the housing bubble, and the onset of what would be called the Great Recession. Jobs vanished. Banks trembled. Confidence in fiat currency waned. People turned to tangible assets, gold, silver, and yes, even coins. In a world reeling from financial instability, old coins became new symbols of security. The 2008 Jefferson nickel, still being minted in massive numbers, slipped into the hands of millions. But few knew at that time that a select few from that year would become some of the most sought-after collectible coins in U.S. history. What makes the 2008 Jefferson nickel stand out among modern coins is not just its timing, but its variations, errors, and stories that emerged from the minting process. Minted in both Denver and Philadelphia, the Jefferson nickels of 2008 were struck in copper-nickel alloy with a weight of 5 grams. But within these otherwise standard specifications, anomalies began to surface. Some 2008 nickels bore die cracks, tiny lightning bolt-like fractures that sliced across Jefferson's portrait, making each one unique. Others were struck slightly off-center, creating elliptical rings that seemed to ripple with artistic distortion. And still others carried what's called full steps on Monticello, the reverse design element representing Jefferson's home, an indicator of exceptional strike quality that dramatically increases collector value. But perhaps the most fascinating 2008 Jefferson nickels are the ones that escaped the mint with misalignments, doubled dies, or unintentional planchet flaws. These error coins, rare, unrepeatable, and unpredictable, became instant targets for collectors once discovered. In a market where rarity drives value, such flaws aren't defects. They're miracles. They turn a 5-cent coin into a prize worth hundreds, thousands, or even more in the right context. Combine that with a limited mintage run of certain variations and you get a formula for numismatic stardom. It was no longer just about the coin, it was about the story behind the coin. Collectors, especially those who had weathered economic storms, found deep symbolism in this nickel. It was a coin that had seen recession. It had been minted in the shadow of a crumbling market. And yet it endured. It circulated. It moved from hand to hand, whispering a tale of perseverance. Some people framed it. Others hoarded it. A few even made jewelry out of it, embedding the image of Jefferson into rings or necklaces as tokens of American endurance. Then there were the auctions. As the coin market began to heat up in the 2010s, and as YouTube and social media popularized rare coin hunting, the 2008 Jefferson nickel suddenly emerged from obscurity. Videos circulated showcasing nickels with rare error strikes or unique full-step profiles fetching high prices online and at coin shows. Some coins graded by PCGS and NGC in mint state 68 and above were pulling in serious bids. One particularly well-preserved example with a double die obverse reportedly sold for over $5,000. Another with an ultra-rare misalignment error and a visible lamination flaw was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $12,000. These weren't just flukes, they were turning points. Each record-breaking sale breathed new life into the legend of the 2008 Jefferson nickel, and it's important to understand that behind each rare nickel is a world of collectors, historians, researchers, and enthusiasts working to validate, catalog, and document these coins. The 2008 Jefferson nickel has been the subject of deep analysis by coin forums, hobbyist websites, and numismatic journals. Every possible die pairing, mint mark alignment, and strike flaw has been examined. And as new errors continue to surface, the intrigue grows. What seems ordinary today may be the jackpot coin tomorrow. Of course, not all 2008 nickels are created equal. Most are indeed worth 5 cents. But hidden among the millions are those very special coins that carry a much heavier weight, not in grams, but in history, in mystery, and in meaning. That's why so many collectors continue to pore over their pocket change. That's why metal detectors still hum in backyards and beaches. That's why thousands of people attend coin shows each year with magnifying glasses in hand and Jefferson on their minds. Beyond rarity and error coins, the cultural relevance of the 2008 nickel is another layer of its allure. It marked one of the final years of the Westward Journey nickel series design changes that had reimagined the reverse of the coin from 2004 to 2006. By 2008, Monticello had returned, but the obverse bore a new, forward-facing portrait of Jefferson designed by artist Jamie Franke. This new design was chosen not only for its aesthetic appeal but also for its accuracy and symbolism. Jefferson, no longer viewed from the side as in earlier years, now stared directly at the viewer, confident, direct, aware. It was a symbolic posture, reflecting the idea that the nation, even in economic difficulty, must face the future head-on, and what a future it was. The election of Barack Obama later that same year would be historic. The entire world watched as a new chapter in American leadership unfolded. The 2008 nickel thus became a sort of time capsule, a small but powerful reminder of everything that year represented. It was a coin minted at a crossroads of history, silently carrying the DNA of a changing world. For many collectors, owning a 2008 Jefferson nickel is like owning a piece of living history. It's not just about the metal, it's about what that metal saw, where it traveled, and how it endured. Some collectors have even built entire sets dedicated to 2008 nickels, documenting every known error, every mint state grading, every die pairing. These collections tell stories far richer than textbooks ever could. They reflect the spirit of America, resilient, curious, and determined. Then there's the human aspect. The hands that touched these nickels in 2008 weren't just casual consumers. They were people facing economic anxiety, wondering if their savings were safe, worrying about jobs, mortgages, and the future. A simple nickel might have been changed from a gas station purchase, or it might have helped complete a child's lunch payment. It might have been tossed into a wishing fountain with hope or given to a homeless person in need. That emotional connection, that unspoken narrative, is what gives the 2008 nickel its soul. Over time, as stories accumulated and market dynamics evolved, the estimated symbolic face value of this nickel rose not because of inflation, but because of inspiration. $8 million may seem like a fantasy for a 5-cent coin, but it's a metaphorical price tag, one that captures the immense value people place on memory, rarity, artistry, and survival. In a way, it's worth even more than that. Because how can you put a price on a piece of history that connects millions of people across time? Today, the 2008 Jefferson nickel continues to be a quiet obsession for many. Coin forums still buzz with posts analyzing die varieties. Auction houses continue to highlight rare examples in their catalogs. YouTube channels dedicated to coin hunting regularly showcase the 2008 nickel as a must-watch piece. TikTok users film coin roll hunts with dramatic music and hopeful energy. And eBay listings describe pristine examples with titles like, Rare 2008 Jefferson Nickel Error Coin, drawing curious buyers from around the globe. It's no longer just a coin. It's a phenomenon. It's a movement. It's a relic. It's a challenge to the ordinary, an invitation to look closer, dig deeper, think harder. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be recognized by those willing to appreciate them. And so, the legend of the 2008 Jefferson Nickel continues to grow. Each new discovery adds another thread to the tapestry. Each auction sale sets a new benchmark. Each collector who finds one in their change breathes new life into the story. It's a coin that teaches us not to overlook the little,